Hello everyone. For this math lesson, we are going to imagine that our class took an overnight train trip together. It's a long trip, so long that some of you want to take a little nap. If you take a look at this train with the children in it, what do you notice? What do you wonder? Take a moment to think about that. Pause the video, look at this. What are you noticing? What are you wondering? You might have noticed that there are 10 children in the train. 10 of them are sitting in window spaces that are gray. 5 of them are sitting in window spaces that are gray, and 5 are sitting in window spaces that are white. I can show you that by stretching this rectangle across. Here we have 5 students sitting in the gray windows. And here we have 5 students sitting in the white windows. How do those gray and white windows help you count? Think about that. Do the 10 windows remind you of any of your math tools? Think about those two questions. So first, how do those gray and white windows help you count? Well, if we have 5 gray windows and 5 white windows, maybe we can count easily by 5s. 5, 10. Counting by 5s is a lot more efficient than counting by 1s, isn't it? So we have 5 gray windows, 5 white windows, 5, 10. Now back to this question. Do these 10 windows remind you of any of your math tools? You might have thought about your number rack, because our number racks have 5 red beads and 5 white beads, similar to this train that has 5 gray windows and 5 white windows. Now, the children are on their trip, and like I said earlier, it's a very long trip, so some of them want to take a nap. The sun is shining very brightly, but luckily there's a blue window shade for each seat on the train. So when the children decide to take a nap, they can just close the window shade. Looking at this picture of children on the train, how many children are sleeping behind the shades? How many are sleeping behind the shades? And how do you know? I want you to think about that for a moment. Let me see if I can draw on here. No, I can't. That's okay. So think about that. How do you know how many are sleeping behind the shades? Well, we could figure it out a couple of ways. You could count them. 1, 2. So 2 are sleeping behind the shades, and we can tell just by counting. But another way that you could have thought about it is to maybe think, okay, I'm going to type a little bit here. There are 5 children in the gray windows, 3 in the white windows. So I know there are 8 children that are awake. 8 children that are awake. I'm going to make this a lot bigger so we can see it better. And we need to figure out how many are napping, but we know that altogether there are 10 children on this train. So 8 plus what equals 10? Well, you might know that 8 plus 2 equals 10. So there are 2 children sleeping behind the shades. Let's take a look at this example. Again, the sun is shining brightly. There are blue window shades for each seat on the train, so the ones behind these blue shades are the children that are sleeping. How many children are sleeping behind the shades, and how do you know? Think about that for a moment. Well, you might have been able to know pretty quickly that there must be 5 children sleeping behind the window shades, because we have 5 in the gray windows. These were the white windows, and we know there were 5 of them, but they're all covered up. 5 plus 5 is 10. What about on this example? We have 6 children awake altogether. We have 5 that are awake behind the gray windows and 1 that is awake behind the white window. So we have 6 children awake. How many are sleeping? If we know that there were 10 altogether, 6 are awake. 6 plus equals 10. 6 plus equals 10. Let's think about that for a moment. 6 plus equals 10. What's our missing number? What are the number of students that are sleeping, boys and girls? 4. Let's do one more example. This one's a little bit interesting because there's one giant shade covering up the sleeping children's windows. So we can't just count each individual window, can we? We have to know that there were 10 windows altogether. Some of them are covered up. So let's think about that for a moment. How many do we see awake? We know there are 4 children awake. 4 children who are awake. How many must be sleeping? If you said 6, you are correct, because we know that 4 awake children plus 6 sleeping children equals 10 children altogether. Next, you will do some practice with this activity in the rest of the CSAP pages.